I could keep this going. I mean, I could keep this going for a long time. And I thought about highlighting individuals, and there's so many people that I could salute within the church. Thank God for individuals through the years. And but where do you stop? You know, if I start and then I stop and leave people out that I love and care about, it'd be pretty hard. So just decided to kind of keep it all out. Okay. But well, let's just move on. All right. I don't want to go too far with that thought. But I want to say thank God for the 40 years, for the 30 plus years now that I've been at Lehigh. Thank God for my ability to be there and association there. Now, the majority of my Christian life is at Lehigh. 45 years in the ministry, 30 of it at Lehigh. And thank God for the church. So I salute you and celebrate what God has done. Now, we did two things at Lehigh we wanted to do, and we kept our focus on. Number one was a outreach to the world. And I remember, I think it was around 1990, that I began to write some correspondence studies that we started to produce. And eventually we started putting those out on the internet. We started out with little booklets, Foundation Bible Studies, they were called at that time. And through the years we've matured those and changed those and written new materials until now we have literally tens of thousands of people that have started those Bible studies. And of course, the majority of people who start them never finish them. I realize that. But we have hundreds and thousands of people that have gone through, I say hundreds of thousands, hundreds of people, and yes, I think even thousands that have finished it. Make that a little clearer, okay? Not hundreds of thousands, okay? But just a number of them. I remember a couple who got saved in the early years in Ohio. They got a hold of the Bible study and they started doing the Bible study, and as they came to the end, they came to trust Christ as their Savior. I remember the letter that they wrote in. And the man and woman said, "We have a problem. We've come to know Christ as our Savior. And the woman I'm living with, who just got saved, her husband lives in another city, and she's still married. And we don't think this is right. What should we do?" And I wrote back and I counseled him, and I said, well, the right thing would be for her to go back and try to put the marriage together. That's exactly what they did. Christ changed their life. She went back to that city and began to work on her marriage and trying to restore it, and they went on to serve Christ separately as the Bible taught. I'll tell you what, those are some precious memories, and I could just go on and tell you about people here in Africa now, people in Asia, people in Europe, people, yes, all around the world, down in Latin America, because of these Bible studies, and now missionaries around the world also that are using correspondence Bible studies patterned after Lehigh Valley Baptist Church. That outreach, reaching out, is a trademark of Lehigh Valley Baptist Church. And we set that in the early days. Second thing we did was reaching in. When I first went there, we had the Emmaus Baptist Academy was a school going up through, I believe, 8th grade, as I recall. And it was open enrollment. Basically, anybody who had the money could come and put their kids in the school, which meant all kinds of strange people would come in with strange doctrines and strange ideas. Their purpose in coming to the school was not always with the best of interest. They wanted to take care of their kids. They were interested in a good education from an academic side, but not necessarily a biblical education. And so it definitely put a strain on things. But over the first few years, what we began to do was to change the emphasis of our enrollment from outside people to inside people, with the idea of our people in our church bringing their children to our Christian school to get a biblical education first and foremost, and to do a good, credible job with the academic education. We began to make those changes. Not everybody was happy. Of course, people from the outside were very upset that we were so serious about teaching the Bible to their kids, and some of those pulled out after causing a lot of trouble within our school. And it was a battle that we had to go through. But then over time, we also then expanded into the 12th grade, and we wanted to raise our kids to serve Christ. That became our focus in the school. There were battles along the way. Kids didn't always understand that. Some of the parents didn't understand that, and they thought that was pretty hard. But there was another thing we did with our school that was very unusual in our whole nation. And that was we wedded our school with our homeschoolers. And the two work hand in hand even to this day. Our homeschoolers were not seen as subnormal or some kind of horrible people because they wanted to educate their kids. In fact, it is normal. It's the right thing biblically. There's nothing wrong with parents educating their kids. Not all parents can do it for different reasons, and we wanted to be able to provide an education for their kids if they could not educate them at home. But we also wanted to help those parents that were educating their kids at home. And so we wanted to reach in our church, and we wanted to raise up young people that would serve Jesus Christ. We've got a number of those now. I know you can look and say, oh, well, I know somebody who grew up in the church and isn't here anymore. I know you can find those. You're going to find that at any church. But you can also find a healthy number of them that were raised up in the church and today are serving in the church, and some of them in leadership roles there. And the reason? Because we had an emphasis on training our own. So Lehigh Valley Baptist Church started a direction in those days that has made a major impact on the people that are within our church and on the people that are outside our church. Lehigh Valley Baptist, I salute you. 40 years of serving Christ, and certainly the last 30 years that I'm aware of have been some of the grandest years. I'm thankful to be associated with the church, thankful for what you've done. I pray you'll stay faithful in the years to come. May God bless you, and I hope your celebration this coming weekend will be a great one. Thank God. Lift up Christ in all you do. God bless you.